up, everybody? Welcome back to One More Guitar. Thank you for watching. Please remember to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. So today what I'm going to do is I want to take a closer look at this Affinity Telecaster Deluxe by Squier. I did decide to keep this guitar. That's why I took the plastic off. I've really been enjoying it. And so I wanted to go ahead and make a full review video of it and check it out and let you know what I think about it. So what I'm going to do today is just go over the specs. I'll play it a little bit, go through the pickups, put it in a mix, and then I'll just give you my final thoughts on this guitar. Also, if you're interested, I'll put an affiliate link to this guitar in the description so you can go check the guitar out or support the channel if you're so inclined. And speaking of supporting the channel, I never really mentioned this, but I do have merch. I've got t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, stuff like that. So I appreciate any support. Now let's get going. Alright, let's start by taking a look at this guitar and checking out the specs. The body's made of poplar. It's got a gloss polyurethane finish, and the color is charcoal frost metallic. Let's see if we can get a close-up of these frost metallics. The output jack is on the side. It's got a metal plate, but it's not the barrel style like you usually see on Telecasters. Alright, it comes with 2 volume and 2 tone controls, one for each of the pickups. This guitar comes with a 6-saddle bridge, and it's a string-through design. Instead of your typical single coil pickups, which usually come on Telecasters, this one actually comes with humbucker pickups. And these are just labeled Fender ceramic humbuckers, and there's one for the neck and one for the bridge. We'll check that out here in a minute. It has a 3-way toggle switch. It comes from the factory installed left to right, but it's pretty easy to turn the switch around. You can turn it upside down if you want to, and I'll show you at the end of the video how I did that. The fingerboard is made of laurel, and I think it looks pretty good. When I shot this video, I didn't have the Jazzmaster yet, but now after seeing both of them, I have to say I'm really impressed with the fretboards on these. This one's really dark, that one's really kind of flamey. It's cool. It comes with dot inlays. There's 21 frets. It's your typical Fender scale length, and it's got a 9.5 radius. The nut is made of synthetic bone, which is a fancy way of saying plastic. It's got a nut width of 1.65 inches. And the tuners are die-cast split shaft. They're like vintage tuners on the top and modern tuners on the back. Another thing that's cool about this Tele Deluxe is that it comes with a comfort cut on the back, so that's a really nice feature. The neck is made of maple, and it's a C profile. It's a pretty standard C profile, and it's got a typical Fender bolt-on neck. You can see here there's some really cool grain on this one, and there's even one bird's eye on there. I thought that was kind of funny. But the grain on this neck and the grain on the Jazzmaster I got both look really cool. You can take a quick look at the back of the headstock and the back of the tuners. While I've got the strings off, I want to take a closer look at this fretboard. I think this is one of the darkest laurel fretboards I've ever seen. When the light's on it like this, you can see the streaks, but when the light isn't directly on it, it really looks like a dark piece of rosewood. I really like that about it. When I shot this, I didn't have the Jazzmaster yet, and I think the Jazzmaster's fretboard's figuring might be just a little bit more active, but I like how this one has uniform lines, like they look like they're parallel or something. And I really like how dark it is. I think this is a cool fretboard. Alright, let's take a quick look under the hood. You can check out the routes. You can see there's a few rough spots in here, and it doesn't look like there's any kind of shielding paint or tape or anything in the cavity. There is a little bit on the pick guard around the pots. Let's take a look at the electronics. Check out the pickups. And it looks like we have full-size pots. That's awesome. Wasn't really expecting that. Okay, and we'll take a closer look at the pickups. Looks like one is marked N for neck and the other is marked B for bridge. And here's a quick look at the switch. Nothing really special to note here. Alright, next we'll check the weight. It's about 7 pounds and 3 ounces, so a really good weight. Alright, let's check the pickup resistance. It looks like we've got 7.5 in the neck, about 8.1 in the bridge, and about 3.9 in the middle position. Alright, so what I want to do now is play through these pickups. We're going to check out each position. I'll play some stuff clean and then I'll play some stuff dirty. And for the clean samples, I've just got the reverb on the amp and I'm using the Fender Blues Junior today. So let's check this out. Alright, I hit the fat switch on the amp, messed with the settings a little bit, and I turned on an overdrive. This is basically like a tube screamer, so we'll see what this sounds like. All right, let's add a little more drive. Alright, now I'm going to try to show you what this thing can sound like in a mix. I feel like I need to play some country with this, so I'm going to give it a go, but it's not really my wheelhouse, so we'll see how this works. But everything you hear is going to be this guitar, including the bass, and I use the Donner Harmonic Squier pedal to make this thing sound like a bass if you're interested in that. As usual, I'll put a list of all the gear I'm using in the description, along with any links if you're interested in checking any of this stuff out. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on the Squier Affinity Telecaster Deluxe? Well, I took the stickers off, and that should tell you something. I'm definitely planning on keeping this for a while. I really like it a lot. So let's just go over it, and I'll start down here and tell you what I like about it. The first thing I'll mention are these knobs. They're really easy to grip. The pots turn really well, so I'm really happy with these knobs. And you saw when we looked inside the guitar that it had full-size pots. So I was really happy about that too. So pretty happy with the electronics and the knobs and everything on this end of the guitar. I will mention the output jack. That is one thing. The output jack seems a little loose, and it's not loose like there's a connection problem, but you can tell like the jack will slide in and out really easily. As far as the pickups go, I really like the way these things sound. They're definitely punchier or something. There's something different about them to normal humbuckers to me. And I think it's really cool. I like the way they sound, and that's one of the reasons I decided to keep the guitar, is because it has a little bit of a different sound than the other stuff I have, and I'm always looking for that. As far as the bridge goes, I did have to mess with this a little bit when I was setting up the guitar, just for intonation and action and stuff like that. Everything worked as it should, and it was really easy to get the guitar set up, so that was nice. Next, we'll talk about the switch. I did turn the switch around. I turned it upside down. Love to hear percussion. I just couldn't get used to it going back and forth like this, so I did switch it to go up and down. It's a really easy thing to swap that, so if I decide to sell the guitar in the future, I'll swap it back. Next, we'll talk about the neck. I mentioned in the unboxing that the fret ends were pretty good, and I stand by that. I haven't had any issues playing it or anything, and it hasn't cut my hand or stood out to me in any way. If you are looking for it like this, you can kind of tell that some of them are a little sharp, but it's really not bad at all. I didn't notice it in playing. As far as the back of the neck goes, I think this satin finish on the back of this is great. It's another reason I wanted to keep the guitar. This neck really feels good, and it looks good too. As far as the fretboard goes, I think this is one of the nicest Laurel fretboards I've ever seen. I've had several, especially recently, and they always feel good. I really have come to like Laurel a lot, but this one looks particularly good. It's really dark, it's got some nice streaks in it, and so I was impressed with that, along with the grain in the neck. The nut, I think I've got an issue with the G string. When I play in the first two frets, the note goes a little more sharp than it should, so there's probably an issue with the way that that slot is cut, but it's really not too bad. The next thing I'll mention are these tuners. On the positive side, I really like the split shaft tuners, and these are no different from any other ones I've used. It was really easy to get the strings in here and get this guitar restrung, no problem. I have to say the ratio is not great. I had to turn it a lot to get the strings, to move, or the pitch to move. So I'll say that, these tuners aren't the best. They definitely have a little play in them, and, you kind of expect that on this price range. I would say if I was going to replace anything on this guitar, it would be tuners first, and then the output jack. But other than that, I think everything's great. I'm really enjoying playing it, and I think it sounds really good. Alright, thanks again for hanging out and watching the video, and if you stuck around this long, please remember to take a second to hit that like button. It really helps the video out. Until next time, take it easy and keep playing.